Good afternoon, Ghana. It's 12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News. We're coming to you live from our studios at number 11. Dr. Martin Lupin and Abraka Kra. My name is Ajuatin Kramadum. Now, coming up. Government deploys security forces to Nkwanta in the Oti region following last night's deadly clashes. Also coming up, Electoral Commission calls off scheduled collation of outstanding Ablekuma North constituency polling station results following attacks on its regional office. Still in the bulletin, former Deputy Education Minister and the proponent of anti-LGBTQ+ bill criticizes President Mahama over suggestions to make the bill government-sponsored. We'll tell you why. And later in the bulletin, National Democratic Congress in Insawe Madweji vows to use every legal means to reverse declaration of Frank Anodompre as MP for the area.
With the issue about Salom's victory that has been denied by the Electoral Commission and then the MPP, the matter is at court now. We have filed a petition and very soon we shall litigate the issues.
Well, and if you're hoping to get a seat on the Heritage Caravan for this year, the news is that it has been sold out. To bring you details of this and more stories in our subsequent bulletins, but stay with us for details of these and more in 30 minutes. The news is live around the globe on citinewsroom.com. Across the country, we are live on a number of affiliate stations in the Western region: Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky 93.5 FM, all in Takrady. In the Bunu region, you can tune into J Life 95.5 FM in Sunyang. In the Shanti region, Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In Volta region, this is Global 105.1 FM in Ho, Adanu 107.7 FM in Adaklowaya. In the Northern region, Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. If you're in Upper West, this is Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In the Upper East region, we are on Source 100.1 FM in Boko. And in the Northeast region, find us on Scarp 101.3 FM in Nampanduri.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for your company this afternoon. Let's begin from the quarters of the Electoral Commission because it has suspended the scheduled collation of parliamentary results for the Ablekuma North constituency. This decision follows an incident which individuals suspected to be affiliated with the National Democratic Congress ransacked the collation center at the Greater Accra Regional Office of the Electoral Commission. Well, the collation, which was set to resume today, was disrupted when over 40 individuals stormed the center and ordered everyone to leave and vandalized properties, including louver blades and doors, while the media waited for the process to begin. Let's go on the phone lines and speak with my colleague Charles Owusukumi. He was there for us this morning and he has some details to report. Charles, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Narrate to us exactly what transpired at the Electoral Commission's office today.
Well, good afternoon, Ajwa. So the Electoral Commission scheduled to resume collation for Ablekuma North today. 3 of the 281 polling stations for Ablekuma North remain outstanding following more than 6 times of recollation exercise that the Electoral Commission has done here at the regional office. So today, we got a call from the Commission to come and cover this exercise. So we're expecting to see Electoral Commission officers members of the NDC, members of the NPP, the returning officer for Ablikuma North, and presiding officers of the various polling stations who the commission has utilized in verifying some of these pink sheets. So about 8 a.m., the commission gave the time for 8 a.m. for us to come and cover this event. Just a few minutes past 8, just about 8:30 or so, we're awaiting the commission to come in and start the processes. And then just when the media men were setting up outside of the coalition center, some men just came in, ordering everybody to get the equipment and leave the premises. If you try to film what was happening, you'd have the equipment seized and destroyed. So we all left, and then we saw them.
Charles, pause there for us. But were there no security deployment at the premises of the commission when these men came in?
Excuse me. So there were a few police officers and some military men, but not as we've become used to for these coalition exercises. So, usually when you come, there would be a barricade right in front of the entrance of the Electoral Commission with heavy security presence made up of police officers, prisons officers, immigration officers. That wasn't the case today. So actually, when I came in, without the Electoral Coalition pass, you won't be allowed to enter. But all these protocols were non-existent today. So anybody at all could just walk into the Electoral Commission premises and come and do whatever they did. So there was no surprise how they managed to find their way into the premises. And then when they came up, destroyed louver frames, forced doors open, forced the coalition itself open, and just went in and did whatever they had to do before they stepped out. Now, we're saying these people are believed to be affiliated to the NDC because of some of the things they were saying. They said no Erabna Orbin, no Ablikuma North. They won't allow the coalition to continue because for them, Erabna Orbin has been declared winner, and so no need for the recoalition exercise to go on here. Right. Now, we've also just been told just before you come in. We've also just been told that the polling officers, the polling agents of Erabna Orbin, and some of the executives of Ablikuma North for the NDC have been invited by the police to come and have a meeting. So that is currently ongoing, and we're keeping tabs on this.
Very well. Before I let you go, do we know anything about when or if the coalition is going to resume?
Well, the coalition for today has been called off. That's the indication we're getting from the Electoral Commission because of the security situation. Now, after these men did whatever they did at the regional office of the Electoral Commission, some of them went to the corporate head office of the Electoral Commission, but they were dispatched off by the security present at that end. So because of the volatile nature of the situation, the Electoral Commission has called off the coalition for Ablikuma North. So that constituency continues to remain outstanding out of the 276 constituencies across the country. And when the commission decides to go on with the coalition, to resume the coalition, they will let us know.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's my colleague Charles Owusu-Kumi giving us the brief of what transpired at the Electoral Commission's office today when it tried to resume the coalition for Ablikuma North constituency. We'll stay on election-related matters because executives of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC in the Sawam Adwejui constituency, have served the Clerk of Parliament with a petition filed at the Koforidua High Court challenging parliamentary elections. Now, lawyers for the NDC's parliamentary candidates, Selom Philbert Fume, are contesting the Electoral Commission's declaration in favor of Frank Anodompre at Tesano in Accra. The constituency secretary, Noah Agbeko Dumenya, stated that the party remains committed to pursuing the case, insisting that their candidate won the seat.
With the issue about Salom's victory that has been denied by the Electoral Commission and then the MPP, the matter is at court now. We have filed a petition, and very soon we shall litigate the issues. There are concerns about pin sheets. Then all of a sudden, somebody is declared a winner. Definitely, there are very grieving concerns. So we are asking for justice to be served. So we are demanding immediate justice for these people. This is what is happening. The temperature in Nsawam is not a very pleasant one. We are calling on the attention of stakeholders, national leaders, national security, interior ministers to come to Nsawam, because it is not looking good. If you pass every corner, the kind of agitations that are being brewed, if care is not taken, we may not be able to withstand it. So we are begging for an immediate intervention before it gets out of hand.
Well, he also called on the Inspector General of Police to call on his men to promptly investigate the shooting incident which occurred during the 2024 general elections.
There is a growing, very unpleasant temperature among the youth and the general citizenry of Nsawam Edwejiri, following the delay by the police and the IGP in prosecuting the matter involving the shooting of a youth. So the youth are demanding justice for the victim. They are asking on the IGP, the police, because the matter has been put before them and it's getting nearly to 2 months and we don't know what is happening. So we are calling on the IGP and the police to let us know what is happening, because the man who has committed the crime is working a free man.
Nsawam Adreju Constituency Secretary for the NDC, Noah Akbeko Dumenya. Now from Nsawam Adreju, let's move to Ahafwano Southwest Constituency in the Ashanti region, where the New Patriotic Party has affirmed its commitment to protecting the parliamentary seat held by their candidate Elvis Osei-Mensah Dapaah. Now this follows a legal challenge filed by the National Democratic Congress at the High Court in Kumasi contesting the election results after the Electoral Commission conducted a recollation due to disputes. The NDC in the Ashanti region has challenged this parliamentary results in Ahafwano Southwest, in Obuasi East and in Ahafwano North constituencies. However, the NPP has questioned the NDC's claims of election rigging and called for evidence to support the allegations. Here's the NPP's Deputy Secretary in the constituency, Eric Owura-Ejikum, speaking on behalf of the party.
It is sad to note that in all the claims by our opponents that the election has been rigged in our favor, they have still not been able to mention the figures that they won the election with. Just recently, precisely on Monday, the 13th of January 2025, they marched to the Electoral Commission Secretariat by way of demonstration against the declaration of Honorable Elvis Osei-Mensah Dapaah as the winner. But to everybody's surprise, they could not quote any figure whatsoever to buttress their claim. We challenge the NDC to come out with their pin sheets or their own collated figures. That shows clearly that they won the election and not just speak in vacuum. We want to remind them of how discerning and sophisticated the good people of Ahafwano Southwest are, and that they cannot continue to take them for granted and throw dust into their eyes. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, for the first time in the history of Ahafwano Southwest, the NPP lost the presidential election to the NDC by some 489 votes difference, and we have accepted it without resorting to violence.
You heard the New Patriotic Party's Deputy Secretary in the Ahafwano Southwest constituency, Eric Owura-Ejikum. Well, the NPP has also questioned a decision by the NDC's parliamentary candidate to file for the position of the District Chief Executive for the area if he indeed has evidence to challenge the parliamentary election results. We move on now to some other stories. The Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD, has commended President John Dramani Mahama's decision to appoint young individuals to key ministerial positions. Notable appointments include Dr. Kisiel Atufosin as Finance Minister, George Opariado as Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment, Kwame Gavin-Abuja as Minister for Roads and Highways, and Agnes Namo Mulate as Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, among others. In an interview with Citi News, Dr. Kojo Asante, who is Director of Policy Engagement and Partnerships at CDD, lauded the move as positive and urged the appointees to focus on advancing the country's development.
youth, of course, brings energy. Sometimes it brings fresh ideas. We're also dealing with a population that is largely very youthful. So there are advantages there, but it is not a guarantor that is expected of the ministry or the problems that have to be solved will be solved. So I think it's good. It's not the first time that's happened. Yes, we've seen more young people in substantive ministers now, which it's new, it's welcome. But I think given the context within which we are, the expectation will not be any lesser that whoever is being put in that position can actually do the job that will serve the public interest, will bring development, and will help solve the problems that as a country we are facing. So there's a lot that is riding on the performance of these ministers who are in this youth bracket. So they are going to represent the majority of citizens who are in that youth bracket, and a lot will be expected of them to deliver.
Director of Policy Engagement and Partnerships at the Center for Democratic Development, Dr. Kojo Asante. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. Still ahead in the bulletin, government deploys security forces to Nkwanta and Yoti region following last night's deadly clashes. We'll bring you details of this and more stories shortly. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
It's time to reset yourself and everything around you for success in the new year. Tune in to the Effective Living Series 2025 this January on Channel 1 TV and Citi FM. Start your year with insightful discussions and expert tips on personal growth, health, success, and more. It's time to reset yourself and everything around you for success in the new year. Tune in to the Effective Living Series 2025 this January on Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM. Start your year with insightful discussions and expert tips on personal growth, health, success, and more. From the 6th of January, join Apioko and Caleb Kuda as they engage our guests with various expertise on the Effective Living Series for a comprehensive guide to resetting your life in 2025. Week 1 kicks off with Personal Reset. Week 2 focuses on resetting your personal economy. Week 3 is all about resetting your health. Week 4, resetting business. Calibrate, remodel, and rebuild. Catch the Effective Living Series live on the Citi Breakfast Show on 97.3 Citi FM at 9 a.m. and on Breakfast Daily on Channel 1 TV at 9:20 a.m. Monday through Thursday. Don't miss out on transforming your life for the better every week only on Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM. The Effective Living Series 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by Hallmark Cafe. Hallmark Cafe. Delight in every sip and bite.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back to the bulletin. We bring you some more stories. Now the government has deployed a joint police and military team to Nkwanta in the Yoti region to restore order after violent clashes linked to a chieftaincy dispute. Now the conflict, which began on Wednesday and extended into Thursday night, has resulted in 3 deaths and multiple injuries. Residents remain fearful as sporadic gunfire continues. Government spokesperson Felix Kwachi Ofosu confirmed that security forces were deployed last night with reinforcement arriving today to maintain peace and enforce law and order. We move on to some other stories. Now, Central Regional Minister Designate Ekopenyi Ochwe Eduamwa has pledged to prioritize the completion of stored projects in the region. He mentioned the unfinished Fisheries College in Cape Coast and a cold storage facility in Gomwa Nyenyano, both initiated during the first Mahama administration but abandoned by the NPP government. Speaking to Citi News, he called on residents to back his efforts to ensure the region's development.
I think that where the funding sources are the same, we will not continue, we will not start fresh ones until we complete the existing ones. For instance, if we are having an uncompleted school building, which is being funded by GET Fund, we do not have to be starting new ones when we've not completed the old one. So we have to complete the old ones, and then when we get new funding, we go there and then start, if you like, new ones in the places that we think we should. So with the Commander Sugar Factory, we have no option there to bring it back with military speed. In fact, airplane speed. If you like light speed, because we have no option, my brother. If you look at the amount of money that has gone into that project and where it is now, I think it is in the heart of President Mahama that this project comes back to life as soon as possible, and we will make sure all that we can do to support this project. Already the people of Central Region have embraced this project, and all that we are waiting for is to make sure that it comes to life.
Eko Penyi Ochre Eduamwa is a Central Regional Minister designate. Now, the Member of Parliament for Akachi North, Peter Nochukotoi, has hinted that government will release funds next week to senior high schools for food procurement. This follows a decision to decentralize the process after consultations with the Finance Ministry, the Ministry of Education, and the Ghana Education Service. Speaking to Citi News, he stated that temporary arrangement set to last a month aims to ensure students receive wholesome and nutritious meals.
When we assumed up, we realized that there are a lot of challenges in the schools, especially with feeding. So over the week, we had met several times and have come to the conclusion that we need to decentralize the procurement process so that for the meantime, procurement will be done at the school-based level for 1 month. Monies will be released directly to the schools. We have sat down with Charles, we sat down with the Minister of Education and the GES so that we can normalize the situation. So funds will be made available very soon. Minister of Finance is working on it. Food items like rice is now on the way to the various centers for distribution to the schools. We started yesterday, we supervise it, and so I hope that it will continue up to the end of the week and everything will be in order. So money will be made available very soon, probably Monday or Tuesday. The schools should receive money hitting their accounts through the Ministry of Education.
Peter Nochukotoi is Member of Parliament for Akachi North. Now, the Committee for Public Accountability has condemned the recent attacks on Electrochem Ghana, a prominent salt mining company in the Ada area. The incident occurred after President Mahama's swearing in, during which a group of youth reportedly invaded the company's premises and seized equipment. Executive Chairman of the group, Collins Owusu-Amankwa, urged President John Mahama to take swift action to safeguard local businesses, stressing the need to uphold his pledge to ensure a secure and supportive environment for investors.
The current president is on record during his inaugural speech inviting investors to invest in Ghana's economy, including promoting Ghanaian businesses. So if we're going to sit down for few people because of their selfish gains, would want to destroy such projects, then I think it's a source of worry. That's why we are calling on the Member of Parliament for the area to back off from such ugly moves. It's not right, and as a committee we roundly condemned such acts. She should not be seen to be sabotaging this project, but she should rather encourage the operators of the company to do more, so that the local people would also be able to live happy. In fact, they are providing jobs. Why must anybody be seen to be an obstacle to such project?
He had Executive Chairman of the Committee for Public Accountability, Collins Owusu-Amankwa. Away from that, political science lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere, has attributed 60% of the New Patriotic Party's defeat in the 2024 election to the leadership of former President Nana Akufo-Addo. He backed claims by former NPP Vice Chairman Sami Krab, who described the party as weak. Speaking to Citi News, Dr. Asante pointed to the neglect of the party structures as a key factor in the party's significant electoral loss.
What happened to them is like what is in Jeremiah, where it is said that the fathers have eaten sour grapes and the children's teeth are set on edge. I think Mr. Akufo-Addo contributed about 60% of Dr. Bawumia's defeat. And Dr. Bawumia's defeat, he himself contributed about 40%. Now, that being said, the arrogance that appointees of government displayed, all these things contributed as intangibles that led to that mass opposition to the renewal of their mandate in the 2024 elections. And so the goodwill is not there. The structures are weak in the sense that it was more or less like a one-man show. The temptation has always been that when you are in government, you think that is it. You tend to overlook the structures of the party. You tend to sidestep what should be done in terms of structure, thinking that everything is about using monetary resources to bulldoze your way through.
Well, Dr. Asante Okyere also noted that the future of the NDC's electoral fortunes, rather the NPP's electoral fortunes, depends heavily on the performance of the current Mahama-led administration.
That will be dependent upon the performance of this. And I tell you what, based upon the way the sitting president, who has had experience of being booted out of power in his first term, and he's gotten the second opportunity to run the affairs of this country, and the way and manner he's going about it, I think it will be very difficult for the MPP. And that being said, I think that Mr. Mahama is equally careful that if he does not do the right thing, it will affect the chances of his successor. And so that in itself some kind of problem for the MPP. That being said, it is in order that if you have had such a gargantuan loss, you will want to set up a committee. I was among the first who proposed that. And so that is to go around and find out exactly what might have caused the defeat. It is not as if they don't know. But there are certain intangibles that when you go around, that is when you realize that, well, so this was a factor, this was a motivating factor. And you will see that it cannot be the same throughout the country. You are going to have different motivating factors that led to the loss.
That's a political science lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Jonathan Asante Okyere. The Member of Parliament for Assin South and former Deputy Minister of Education, Reverend John Ntim Fojo, has criticized President John Dramani Mahama for allegedly reversing his position on the controversial Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, also known as the Anti-Gay Bill. Reverend Fojo's comments come after President Mahama proposed introducing the bill as a government-sponsored initiative rather than a private member's bill. Speaking during a meeting with the Catholic Bishops' Conference on January 14, 2025, the President argued that a government sponsorship would enhance the bill's legitimacy and facilitate its passage. Moving on now, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Augustus Nana Kwesi Andrews, has appealed to President John Dramani Mahama to increase ministerial appointments for the region, citing its size and development needs. Speaking during interviews for Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executive applicants, he expressed appreciation for the nomination of Dr. Frank Amoakohene as Regional Minister Designate. He stressed that additional appointments will boost development efforts and strengthen the party's position for future elections.
I want to take opportunity of your media to once again thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana, by appointing our own brother, friend, Dr. Frank Amoakohene to become the Regional Minister of Ashanti. We know that Ashanti region is a place that we need more development, and we know that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama thinks about us, but we are thanking him. Oliver Twix, we are asking for more. We've seen that some of the names are coming out. We are appealing to him. Ashanti is looking on him that we should get more ministers, because our region is one of the biggest regions. We have 47 constituencies, so when he helps us to get more ministers, more CEOs, it will help us to win the next elections.
Ashanti Regional Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Augustus Nana Kwesi Andrews. And now the slots for the 2025 Heritage Caravan has sold out just 1 week after its launch. Set to run from March 2nd to 9th, this year's event promises an unforgettable experience filled with cultural immersion and breathtaking exploration. The caravan will visit 14 regions, offering a deep dive into Ghana's history, culture, and natural beauty. Head of Events and Partnerships at Citi FM and Channel 1 TV, Frema Edunyame, shared more details on this year's caravan in an interview with Citi News.
Oh, in fact, for those who have not registered, I mean, they don't even come close, unfortunately, because we were looking at about 100 participants. We registered over 300 participants, and we broke communications on Tuesday. Now, we are even overwhelmed because last year, in 2024, it took about 2 weeks, from when communications was broken to getting sold out. In fact, this time around, in 3 days, the whole thing has been sold out. So we even have people who are on the registration list, but unfortunately, we can't take everybody. So it's unfortunate, but I'm sorry for those who couldn't make it on time.
Mm-hmm. So, it's officially sold out. What's next?
So at this point, I'm sure those who made it, are just going to get ready. So we are just going to send communication out on what next to do. And at this point, we are just communicating with those who are on the caravan this year.
Well, you heard there the head of events and partnerships at Citi FM and Channel 1 TV, Frema Edunyame. And that's how we wrap up on today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which came to you live from our studio in Adabraka, Accra. You can log on to citinewsroom.com for more stories. I am Ajua Tinkram Adam, and many thanks for your company.
Citi News.